On today's show, scientists figure out how to use lasers to make a metal surface water repellent.
Oculus is opening up a studio to make virtual reality movies, and there's like a lot of information.
We're all gonna look like this. And a really cool piece of software transforms any kind of building block like a Lego into a digital modeling kit.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I like that you were like, are you playing a piano now? Is that Keyboard Cat?
It is.
All right, good.
Blast
I'm your
from
host,
the past.
Ashley Escala. Joining me as always, Kale Anonymous, the Keyboard Cat of your dreams.
I am excited about this Oculus news
I
because
know, there's so
like
many good
with
newses.
the when the HoloLens came out, everyone's like VR's dead, suckers.
It's all about AR.
And now virtual reality is like,
Hey guys,
what up?
we haven't even
This is
gotten
the
our
conversation
chance.
that happened.
Yeah.
They're in a room, they're both crushing beer cans on their head.
It was like it was like that fight in West Side Story where they just like snap their fingers at each other.
Sharks,
Yeah, sharks versus jets. That's what it is. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hit the headlines. Okay, so water repellent stuff. We've seen it. It's out there.
Yes.
Non-stick pans.
Ducks.
Ducks. Non-stick. Okay, so water repellent stuff is generally made with a coating like Teflon. So you see that with like non-stick pans and stuff. But the problem with that is that over time, you need to either reapply that Teflon. It's a coating, so it wears off, or you can damage it. So that's why they say like if you have non-stick pans, you're not supposed to use metal utensils. Well, this is awesome. So check this out. This is from the University of Rochester. This is a surface, a metal surface that they were able to make hydrophobic without coatings using lasers.
So
this is
it'll never come off.
They basically it would take a very, 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 very long time for this to wear down because it's metal. So the point of this is, so this is a 1 by 1. It's 1 inch by 1 inch. But look at it's just bouncing off, like literally bouncing
Whoa.
off of the metal. It's just like boink, 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 goodbye. Like, see, look at that. That's amazing. So the laser etches a pattern of micro and nanoscale structures on the surface of the metal, and then it can also absorb light. So it can repel water and absorb light as well because it's really, really, really dark. So the neat thing about this is that in most things that are made of, like that have a Teflon coating or some sort of hydrophobic coating, you actually have to tilt it. So if you have a pan and you put water in, you have to tilt it. Not with this. It's like it literally, you put water in, it slides right off. Like you don't have to tilt it or otherwise manipulate it, just slides right off, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that was kind of like porn, just watching that bounce
It's
off.
like,
You're just like, oh
"Whoa,"
yeah.
like, for anybody who's really into hydrophobic video, this is so that's what it looks like when you do use like a Teflon
right.
pan. Okay, so this is totally different.
What
See
else
how,
are they hoping to use it on besides pans?
Okay, so the whole point of this is that they're saying there could be sanitation applications. So yeah, here they are like tilting it. Oh, and it barely goes, and then there's still some water leftovers, residue. Completely not the case with this. See, it just slides right off. It's crazy. So sanitation applications, they're saying that you could do things like making latrines out of this material, and then that way they're easier to clean.
What
and
about
they
like
take less
bathroom
water.
walls? Would that?
So the really important thing about this is that it's kind of self-cleaning because of the surface being so waterproof. That if they took a vacuum bag full of dust and like poured it onto that surface and then put water on it, and they said it took, I think it was like 12 drops of water to clean up all of the dust.
Wow.
Just like slid it right off. So they were saying that for cleanliness or for any kind of sanitation application, this would be great. Efficiency in developing regions where collecting rainwater is vital to survival. So where rainwater is kind of one of the main sources of water, this could be really good. And then also solar thermal collectors because it can absorb energy and or it can absorb light, and then
These guys are going to be millionaires.
it's pretty cool. So, but the problem is that they're going to be millionaires, but I don't know when because it took a long time for them to make that 1 inch by 1 inch metal plate to like etch the laser pattern in there. So they were saying that basically the goal at this point, now that they've actually created the surface, is to make it so where they can make larger pieces quickly. So we'll see how that goes. But nice job, University of Rochester.
Way to go. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
You are going to be millionaires.
You guys are going to be rich. Okay, tell me about Oculus. Speaking of people who are now rich, who are currently rich.
Oculus has announced that they are going to be making a studio to create movies for a VR space.
Well, goodbye, world.
This was announced at Sundance, they said they're going to be producing VR movies with Oculus headset, basically movie experience. They showed it off with a 4-minute animated short called Lost. Now the cool thing is they're promising
Everybody's Oculus face.
they're promising that they're going to have guest directors come in.
Oh, I like that.
And make these movies, as well as the fact that they already have 10 people on their team, on their starting team. Some of them are from Pixar and LucasArts, so that's pretty cool.
Those are big names.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think we really have an idea when we're going to start seeing these, but obviously making fully interactive. And, and also they're hoping to make it so that you can actually sometimes interact in the movie.
Ooh, I like that.
But basically, to sum it up, their goal. There's always the goal.
Always the goal. We like the goal.
So the goal is to produce movies that allow first-person experience movies and even possible ability to interact in the future.
I like
so
it.
we've already seen an app where you can sit in a movie theater and watch a movie.
Yeah,
it's
what's
like
it,
a
Oculus
virtual,
Cinema, right?
Yeah, you sit in a movie
saw that
theater
and
and
you're
you can
looking around.
change seats and but you're like alone. By
You
the
can
way,
throw popcorn
that's really,
on the invisible people in
That's
front of you.
really like frustrating, as you're in alone in a theater. But yeah, now they're hoping that you're just in the movie.
What do you mean? Alone in a theater is the best. It's like your own Mystery Science Theater.
So you can go, oh no, you didn't.
Yeah.
But I've actually already been inside a simulated movie. There was,
Okay.
I forgot the name of the movie, I forgot the director, but this guy was nominated for an Oscar. I don't think he won, but he was nominated for an Oscar, and then he made this one, and basically you're in, it was like Fallujah or something like that. And it was these Marines raiding, so you're like going with them.
I saw this.
And I actually did it though. And then you're like
Was it
looking
super
around,
intense?
and yeah, it was loud. Like you'd hear gunfire over on the corner
Right.
and stuff like that.
That freaked me out a
It
little
was
bit.
pretty cool. And we also, if you didn't know, we also did the Interstellar experience.
Yeah, that
so
was
we
awesome.
went through the ship from Interstellar. And that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, seeing what we get out of this. And that was the thing. With AR, it adds to your life, but in VR, you're stepping into a completely different world. We cannot say which one is better.
Right.
Surely one is better at some things, one is better at others. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of stories that unravel and what people want to do. Don't you think we
guest
should
director
ask
thing
other
is
people
really good.
what they would think?
I think we should. So I think we should make the hashtag of the day.
Oh, you think about it.
TDVR film. And we should ask people to pitch their idea for a movie for virtual reality.
Can I do one?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my pitch.
All right, give it.
Oh, Run Lola Run, but with VR. Or if you want to work with an intellectual property that already exists, let's go Mirror's Edge.
Oh, I like
So
it.
but I mean, again, that could just be a game. But Mirror's Edge, but you do like a live action
good.
Mirror's Edge. All of mine, because all of mine exist in you're embodying the person. Obviously, the one that I tried, you weren't necessarily embodying someone; you were following people.
Yeah.
But yeah, embodying. You embody someone who's doing like parkour and stuff like that.
I'd like to see a short film based on 2001: A Space Odyssey, and like visiting the obelisk.
Ooh.
Like just short film, some kind of narrative. Somebody come up with a narrative. Like I'm sure there are smarter people out there than I, but some kind of narrative, some kind of cool narrative that takes us back to the obelisk.
That sounds
Like
intense.
like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course you pick something space.
Something cool.
Yeah,
Space.
wow, really cool.
I think the virtual reality for me, like the most exciting thing for me is going to a place that I'm not going to be able to go, like at least until I'm very old and rich and I'm like Oprah, but space. Like, I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and it won't cost you nearly as much as it will cost to go to space. So for me, that's like the exciting thing for me is that someday I might be able to put on a HoloLens or put on an Oculus Rift and go to Mars and be able to see it right in front of me as if it were there from the comfort of my living room. I like that.
Yeah, that's what VR is supposed to represent.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So pitch us your movie ideas, short films, long movies, whatever. And I don't know, should we pick a favorite or something tomorrow? I guess we'll pick a favorite.
Yeah, we'll each pick a favorite.
We'll each pick
you
a favorite.
pick a favorite,
All right.
I'll pick a favorite.
So let's talk about digital Legos because this is awesome. Everybody loves Legos. Unless you step on them, in which case everyone hates them.
Yeah.
But this London studio called Gravity, I think it's like 4 graduate students. They designed Lego X, which is a software system that lets you build things with blocks. And then as you're building, it creates a digital render of it like in real time on your computer or your iPad. So this is kind of incredible. Like I'm super impressed with this. So you can see they're moving the block around in the video and it's like it knows exactly where and how you're moving them around. It uses location mapping and gyroscopic sensors to plot the position and the orientation of the blocks. They're using Duplo blocks here, by the way. Those look a little large to be Legos. Yes, they're Duplo blocks. But Gravity, so it uses Duplo blocks now because it was easy. But look at this. So that's what it's rendering. So it's actually rendering a real room.
Oh.
Like it's a 3D room. It doesn't look like a Lego. It doesn't look like a Lego build.
Yeah, your kid will be an architect.
So see how it's got like these big arrays. So when it says, oh, you have a bunch of blocks together, it recognizes that it needs to make it one piece. So that's why you saw just a simple wall going like this.
Yeah.
As opposed to a whole bunch of little blocks.
How is it capturing it?
So they have a whole like system set up for this, and it uses location mapping and gyroscopic sensors that are, they have it like, if we go back to the video, if Logan can like show a little bit more of this, when they're putting them down on the, there's like a plate that they're like landing everything down on, and they were saying that you'd be able to sort of put things together with these blocks and then export them to your favorite 3D printer software as a file, and then you'd be able to 3D print whatever that was. So this could really revolutionize things like architecture. So they could build something with Legos. Like hypothetically, you build a whole thing out of Legos, which we've seen some amazing Lego builds, and then you would be able to get that 3D printed and like show people exactly what your vision is as a 3D printed like mock-up of a building.
Lego
which
models.
is pretty cool.
All right, cool. That was kind of my dream as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is awesome, and they do some other cool stuff. This team Gravity, they do some other stuff with digital design, and also they do some VR development. So they have some things going on with Oculus as well. I was like looking through their website.
Who doesn't?
I was totally stalking you guys, Gravity. But yeah, it was. I'm just really fascinated by this, and I think this is a really neat sort of step towards being able to sort of use the things that are in your house, like Legos or Lincoln Logs or whatever it is, like, you know, kids' toys, being able to use those to design something that you can then get 3D printed and sent to your house is like, that's insane. It's like,
yeah, because I mean,
incredible.
honestly, not everybody has the tech savviness to build something in a virtual space, and really, or model something. So
right. Yeah. But everybody knows how to use Legos. So, I mean, that seems like a really accessible way to sort of build something incredible. And then this software sort of takes what you're building and smooths it out. And you can actually use the software as well to like smooth over edges, or it recognizes when you want an arch, like and stuff, and it automatically will adjust to that. It's pretty cool. So,
neat.
Nice
I'm going to
work.
build my next house in Legos. This is what I'm learning today.
I think that's really, I mean, that's the goal, right?
I love that they also combine the 3D printing element. I'll just put that out
really
there.
neat. You can just export your 3D file and then get it 3D printed. It's awesome. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. We have an awesome mod this week for Mod Squad, and then we also have your user feedback and our phone togger for the day. So don't click away. It's Tomorrow Daily. Welcome back to the show. We've returned. Kayla is having all sorts of problems. You're keyboard catting it up today?
This is just me. This is who I am. I'm this guy that does weird stuff.
Whenever you do that, I always think of the Homestar Runner song. Like I always hear, I love Homestar Runner, and so I always hear like that boop 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 boom 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 boom. It's a Casio, like they play the Casio.
I missed that one.
That's a deep cut. Do you want to talk about skull tongs?
Yes.
Just say yes. Just say yeah.
Okay.
Sound excited.
Yeah!
Okay, we're going to talk about skull tongues. It's time for Mod Squad. We still don't have a graphic yet, but I'm going to act like that was it. All right, so I don't know if you guys have ever seen this channel on YouTube. It's called Slingshot Channel.
I haven't heard of it.
This guy runs Slingshot Channel, and I got to say, I love it. So this is the guy right here. His name is Jorg Sprav.
Nice.
And first of all, he is just delightful. He's super into slingshots, like rubber-propelled, rubber-based projectiles. Like anything that can be launched with rubber bands, he is into it. So they started off doing things that were just like basic things, and then he made this. This is called the skull tongue. So,
jeez.
Those are at the end of this. If you're just listening to the show, you have to watch it today because this is
terrifying.
Terrifying and amazing. So there's 2 iron balls. Those are 2 heavy iron balls at the end of this, and they basically go all the way back and then swing out 180 degrees and meet together in the middle at the end of this, like, I guess, gun. And
with
smash,
the hopes of...
And smash whatever's in the middle. So, I love how enthusiastic this guy is. So he bought this so he trades with this company that makes these like zombie heads, and he filled it up with wine, and then he smashed the zombies. He wanted to see if it would smash a zombie skull, and so he does these slow-mo cameras and everything. It's great. So you can see it didn't quite meet exactly at the same time, but I think it's because of the way the head's built. But yeah, so he built it and he like showed what the damage was, but apparently it's a lot because that looked like it would really hurt somebody. So yeah, he originally, I guess, made this thing.
Oh, what's it called again? Skull Smash?
It's called the skull tongs because it works sort of like tongs. It kills like a no.
I don't like this thing. This guy scares me a little.
They're not for sale. I mean, they're not for sale. But this guy like is super enthusiastic about everything, and I just like I love his enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and he gets so like excited and just jacked about slingshots.
And destroying people's heads.
It's so great. And so
That's pretty cool.
I guess he put up a video before showing off the skull tongs, but they were they didn't have these gears underneath that kept the arms even. And so people were saying like, oh, you'll probably have problems hitting at the same time. So he put some gears on there, and then it kept everything like really even so that it could just like swing around and like get some momentum and then smash whatever's in between them.
It's cool that he's thinking outside the box, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's evolving his craft of slingshot.
It's super good.
To a very creepy level, like scary level.
He has other stuff on his channel,
Yeah?
like Gatling gun slingshot, where it's like
That's cool.
tons.
I like that.
highly recommend going
That's
over to
cool.
this guy's site because his YouTube channel is
I want to
so
know where
fun.
that started. Like if he started doing that in school, like
He just
flinging
seems like
rubber
he's
bands at
really
people.
into
Yeah.
slingshots. So and all of them are propelled by just rubber bands. So not just the little tiny ones, but the real thick ones that you see like at the gym and stuff. They're like heavy duty rubber bands, but they're still rubber bands. And so then he has them all rigged up and then shoots stuff. It's awesome.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Shout
slingshot.
out. Shout out. What's
Slingshot
the channel?
Slingshot channel. That's what it's
called.
called.
Slingshot channel.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Slingshot channel.
Tell them we sent you if you
Yes.
go over there.
Go and make a comment and say,
tell
Tara
him-
Daly sent me.
And tell him I'm scared of him.
Yeah, Kayla is terrified of him. We'll definitely not have that in the studio in case it just so happens to attach itself to Kayla's head and smash it.
Just wear a helmet.
Yeah, that's true. You should probably wear a
now on.
helmet. All right, it's time for your user feedback. So we asked you guys to use the hashtag TDBlock and tell us what you'd want to
Oh!
erase.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
By the way, I was driving over here and there was a guy walking down the street with a Dr. Pepper shirt, and I got really bummed because I thought to myself, like, oh, if I had that headset, I wouldn't have seen that.
You
Like,
would never know what
and
his
I got
shirt
some
said.
joy out of that of seeing that Dr. Pepper shirt. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, so Stefan wrote to us and said, everything except me and my computer. So just block everything out.
Whoa!
Just you and your
Stefan.
computer. Just block out the rest of the
Oh
world.
my God.
It's really emo of you, Stefan.
Yikes.
And then Nick
We
wrote,
love you.
Nick wrote to us and said, I'd black out Justin Bieber.
He said believer.
He says believer, but I'm assuming he mixed up beaver and Bieber because he is a small beaver. I'm pretty sure Justin Bieber is a tiny beaver.
So like him as a whole, like his voice and
Just-
everything.
Just permanently erased
All right.
from society.
Yeah.
I will buy that.
Yeah.
The Kardashians,
Sure.
also an excellent choice.
Yes.
I would also have taken the Kardashians. That would have been a
let's
good,
get
also
out.
good answer. And then we got an email from Rob who wrote to us about TD class. Remember, he wanted to make those nice helper robots, and then we had the other guy who wanted to make the evil robots.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
These.
So Rob wrote and said, "This is a follow-up to your TD class from Monday. I'm just gonna read this angrily because it makes me laugh. If that guy wanted to invent killer robots, I would reprogram my helping robots to be real-life visions of Republic, aligning themselves with robotic versions of superheroes, such as X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man, Superman." So he's like, I would literally like align.
Flame Wars! I love this.
It's a
okay.
fight.
It's
It's
a
a fight.
battle. It's a battle. They're already deciding how they're going to
Fisticuffs.
one up each other.
Robot
the robot
fisticuffs.
battle begins here on Tomorrow Daily.
It's
no
happened.
survivors.
Nope. Take no prisoners.
Helper robots taking on fighter robots.
Aligning
And
themselves
the drones
with
just watching.
aligning themselves with superhero robots, and the drones are going to record it
I
all.
love them interacting with
And then
each
we're going
other.
to watch it on an Oculus Rift. There you go.
yeah, I
We've
like
tied it all.
that.
We brought it all back full circle. And then we have our very last piece of user feedback, which is always our photographer of the day. We have a Blackberry picture today.
No, I was
Are you
hoping
super
for a
freaked
I was
out?
hoping for a drone picture again. Like
No,
yesterday.
no
That was
drone-tography today. He did
amazing.
send another picture and said this wasn't a picture from a drone, and maybe we'll use that another time. But
No.
okay, so Eddie wrote to us. and said, he took this picture.
Wow.
He said, he wrote us an email. He said, continuing to enjoy the show, wanted to share another Blackberry phone-tograph. These 180-degree panoramas were taken in Falmouth, Jamaica on a Blackberry Z10, but using the stock camera app in an Android smart launcher. Another cool example of how you can combine Android and Blackberry into a Blackdroid or Androberry to unleash the best of both operating systems on the Blackberry Z10. So your check's in the mail from Blackberry. Blackberry's written you a check for that shining, wonderful endorsement of the Blackberry Z10. No, it's a great picture. Look at that. The cruise
really
ship and
is.
the inside. I mean, it's such a
It's
nice.
hard to like really nail a panoramic view.
It really is. Sometimes it's a little bit of a jumbled mess, but this actually turned out really great.
And super duper kudos for including the mirrored windows so that it doesn't like so it actually looks like it goes on forever.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
just
that.
looks like it just goes and goes. I love it.
Yeah.
Super great.
So you know what? You're definitely my favorite viewer now because I've never seen a panoramic like that before.
That was
So
pretty
cool.
good, but I'm gonna say not quite my favorite. Not quite. Not. I mean, someday.
Same old story.
Just keep trying, guys. If you want to try to have your picture be my favorite, Kale's an easy first date. You can email us tomorrow at cnet.com. You can also email us your user feedback. If you absolutely hate email, we got you covered. We have all kinds of social media. You can find us on Tomorrow Daily on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. We're on Snapchat now, guys.
What?
We are now on Snapchat.
What are we sending? What are we snapping?
I don't know. You guys should send us some stuff, and then we'll send you back some stuff, because I don't know what's appropriate on Snapchat, or I don't know what's up.
I feel like it started out the most inappropriate way.
We're on Snapchat. That's all I can
what are
really
we
say.
gonna? What are we even gonna? All right. Well,
I might have a stare. You guys
guess we'll see.
send in your best staring contest, and we'll stare back at you. I think that's a really good way to start things off.
Fair enough.
Let's have a staring contest. You versus us. We're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like and favorite and all that stuff. And also, if you're listening on iTunes, don't forget to rate and review.
True story.
us.
And then, of course, you can always find us as individuals and weirdos on the internet on Twitter. I'm at Ashley Esqueda.
And I am also at Ashley Esqueda.
True.
We share an account. No, I'm
Yeah.
at Kale Anonymous.
Super
Please
easy.
join me for my wacky adventures and my overly opinionated thoughts.
Yes, me too. And that's it for today's show. We will be back tomorrow with a brand new docket of weird, wonderful science, tech, robots, space, whatever we can find that might interest you. But until then, be good humans, and we will see you next time. Bye.